feeling well today, so she is not able to join. But the whole goal of this game and why I developed it is because I strongly believe that now that we're facing climate change, um, people should also be emotionally and mentally resilient. It's not just our cities. I think it's the people as well that should be resilient. So that's actually the goal of the game. I want to make people
Sorry,
more
Ma,
resilient.
the network is already like the word picture.
Do you guys hear me? Or
Yes, I hear you.
okay, okay. There was another guy saying he can't hear me. Okay. I'll just proceed then. So that's the whole goal of the game. So to make people more resilient. So this is what the materials look like. So there's a few categories of in the cards. So the first are signals of change. Then secondly, we have current events, so events that are going on. Emerging issues. So there's a lot of people that already know a lot of emerging issues that are happening, the rising sea levels. But this deck also includes emerging issues that are not so popular as well, or not so known. Then we have emerging technology. So this category actually explores how emerging technology can influence the future of water. So, for example, AI monitors marine life, or 3D printed boats, or automated boats. So it's not just emerging tech in the water industry, it's just emerging tech in general, but then looking at how it can be applied in water. Then the fifth category is emerging science. So this actually explores what is emerging in the field of science in general. So also not it's not specific to the future of water, but you can use it to explore. Okay, how could this be used? How could this science be used in the future of water? And then sixth, we have the water zeitgeist. So how is the mentality changing towards water? How is it changing towards water? And then lastly, I have a few oh dear cards, and they're basically cards that make you want to move to another planet. So those are the materials, those are the categories, and we're going to use these cards as foundation to explore the future. So the goal of this session is that you project the cards into the future. So the cards, it can be technology, events, or the issues. And it's the goal is just to spark thoughts and discussions. So I'm not here to tell you what the future is going to look like. I don't think anyone can. And anticipation is also more important than prediction. So then how are we going to do it? So the game also consists of 5 process cards that are, as I mentioned before, based on the speculative design method. So questioning the present is the first step, then you go to what if, then you create a scenario, then you look at the consequences in those scenarios, and then you create artifacts of the future. But I'll delve into this later. So the 5 steps to the future is we're going to question the present, or you guys are going to question the present. You're going to look at the cards, see what you think, and then based on the insight cards, you're going to create what if questions. So like, what if there's war in water going on, or what if all the fish lose their nutrition, or it could be anything, could be as crazy as possible. Then based on the what if questions, you can create scenarios to make it more detailed. Then the fourth step is to analyze the scenarios, to look for potential challenges or issues or problems that can occur in these scenarios. And then finally, the whole goal of speculative design is to problem solve by design. So then the final step is to create future artifacts that could be used to solve or to address the challenges that would occur in these scenarios. So that's the overview of the workshop today. So speculation is key, and so is critical thinking. So that's the message that should really get across during this workshop. So to give you an example of what a process looks like, so one of the emerging issues, and not a lot of people may know that this is actually happening, but fish are at risk of losing their nutrition due to climate change. So I'm just going to explore an example using this emerging issue. So in the first step, when you're questioning the present, you could be asking questions such as, how many lives will this take if this issue continues? Because there's a lot of communities worldwide that actually rely on the fish industry. And also, who should be held accountable if this actually happens in the future, that fish lost their nutrition for this? So in the first step, it's more about being thought provocative and just thinking of, okay, well, if this issue really gets worse, what is the plan going to look like? Like, should we stop this now? Then a what if question could be, what if fish in the hotter parts of the ocean lost their nutrition? And then when you turn it into a scenario, it could be that all the fish in the Atlantic Ocean, the Persian Gulf, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Northwest and Southeast Pacific lost all their nutrition due to an increased marine heat wave. Then the fourth step is to look at a consequence. So as I mentioned before, there's a lot of communities that rely on the fish industry. So as a consequence, severe malnutrition can occur in this population, and people can really start to suffer from this. And then a potential artifact of the future could be a 3D printed fish that contains all the necessary nutrients and to aid populations in the most affected areas. So that's an example of an artifact. Then this is an inspiration. So we're going to be using Mural in this session, and the mural also has an inspiration board that shows you what if questions, scenarios, and artifacts of the future, so you can get a little inspired. So I think we can start. So we'll use a mural. I'll share the link in the chat, but also feel free to use the chat to participate. You do need to sign up if you want to use Mural and you really want to edit the mural, but you can still visit it as a guest and look at all the cards. So all the cards will be in the mural. So this is a QR code, so feel free to scan it, but again, I'll add it to the chat, the link. Oh, sorry. I'll there we go. So that's the link to the mural. If you guys want to join from, oh, sorry, just wrong, clicked on the wrong thing. So the first step, I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes to look at the cards. So the mural is divided into 4 tables. So in the first table, you'll have all the 112 inside cards. And I just want to give you 5 minutes to look at it and to see which ones you like, which ones you don't like. It's a lot of information that's right there, so I do want to give you 5 minutes. I know it's precious time, but I do want to give you 5 minutes to just soak it all in. So that's it. I don't know if anyone has any questions or if it's clear. Otherwise, I'll just set the timer and then we can start. Yes, Bilal? You raised your hand? Do you want to say something, Bilal? You're muted. Yes, Lourdes?
Hi, Amber.
Hi.
I think, hi, hello. I think I missed it. What is the first step? What should we do first?
Just look at the cards. Just soak them in. Just, yeah.
Look at the cards, the whole board or the ones on the left?
Just on the left side of the mural, all the
Okay.
cards are in table 1. So
Okay.
that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Just
so
5
much.
minutes to look at it. No problem.
Thank
And that includes all the different colored ones as well, I believe, right?
And just the ones in table 1. Yeah,
Yeah.
those. All, yeah, they're very colorful, the cards.
Maybe for the ones that may have this something happen, difficulties entering mural, can you maybe share screen with the cards? So we also, as we are recording the session, it will be great to have.
No problem.
Thank you.
It's just you won't be able to zoom in, so I can share my screen, but the cards are pretty small.
Amber, if it
So
helps, I can kind of scroll around for you, so you don't have to multitask. I can share it.
sure,
Hold up as
no
well.
problem. Thanks.
Let me see. Okay, here we are. Sharing. Okay.
Thank you,
And
Scott.
so, yeah, here.
Yeah, there's
Okay,
a
so
lot of them, so
quite a few.
they all
So I'll
had to
kind
be
of zoom in
very.
a bit so you get a good kind of I'll go top to bottom and then left to right. Uh a lot of interesting stuff on here.
Yeah,
And all
that's
of
the
this,
goal.
this is true, right? There are signals of change, no speculations, right? Or are
Uh,
speculations?
what do you mean, no speculations? That's the next
So,
step.
okay, so these are actual signals of change. This is happening already.
This is happening. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
this is based on articles, based on headlines. So I know that there's
Oh
a
Yeah.
my
few
God.
crazy ones.
Some
Oh
of
my
these are,
God.
This is
yeah,
all
you
happening.
wonder.
Oh my God. Okay.
And the
So
sad thing is some of these have only popped up in like one headline here and there.
no, it's been over the past year and a half that I've been collecting these cards. So it's nothing new. Or yeah, it's there's a few cards that truly make me want to leave the planet. So okay, 2 more minutes. That's okay with you guys?
Although I wouldn't mind a pair of bacteria grown shoes. That sounds interesting.
There's also shoes that you can dissolve in hot water. I think those would be pretty cool as well.
Although I live in the tropics, so I'm a little nervous about the temperature in water.
All right, super.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to
I
leave
can
it up or do you want me to take it down for a minute?
I can take it. Please, yeah, feel free to take it down, and then I
Okay.
can share the slides again to show
Yeah.
what we're going to do next. It's just very briefly. So there we go. So I hope you guys have had a good look at all the cards. Thank you, Scott, for helping as well. So the next step is to question the present, but usually in a real workshop where you have more time, you really discuss the cards with your fellow participants. So right now, what I want you to do is go to the mural, go to the first step, go to question the present, the yellow cards, and just write down what thoughts arise when you look at the cards. And maybe even explain why do you think that certain issues occur, or do you think that we need certain changes or innovations that are listed? So yeah, you mentioned the bacteria-grown shoes, Scott. Is it something that you truly need or just want? But yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna give you another 5 minutes for this first step. So you cannot get this wrong. I just want you to write down the thoughts that you have when you look at the cards. So I can show again where in the mural what I'm talking about. So this is the first step. So in the second table, questioning the present. So if you guys have any thoughts, you can write them down here on these cards. Is everything clear for everyone? Great.
Maybe as a little background, for those unfamiliar with mural, do you want them to like create a sticky note and just put it over the cards, or
Or
can
just
type?
they can create a text
Oh,
and
okay.
just jot it down there. Yeah, that's Okay. I think you can just go to the next step. I feel like you guys, maybe you're all a bit shy. So we can, if it's okay, we can go to the what if questions. Yes, through this?
Okay, so were we supposed to write post-it in the cards?
Just in the where the questioning the present is.
Okay,
The,
but
the
it's not working for me and for Rosa. It's only view only. We can add post-it. So maybe this is happening for all other people as well. I don't know.
okay.
I think because you have to request with Mural, and if you're not logged in, it might be a little, you can't really do any editing. So if you want, you can post your thoughts in the chat too, and
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
then we can add
Okay.
those as well. So any
Great.
reflections, if you wanna, maybe we can take 1 minute and do that. Um, yeah. So any thoughts or insights on these?
Yeah, for me was quite shocking the first, like the whale's meat in Norwegian dogs. Is dog sausages or hot dogs for humans? It's dog food.
No, I think it was for humans. Yeah.
Okay, well, even for humans,
Yeah.
maybe they are used to eat whale's meat, and maybe I'm from Spain. I'm not that used, but for me it was quite shocking. So my reflection is some of these signals of change, as I am not aware of them, were really like surprising for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, that's good to hear. Is it a shocking surprising? Is it a good surprise or a bad
No,
surprise?
shocking. I don't know if
Shocking.
yeah, shocking, but
Yeah, I think that will be the case for most people, unfortunately. That's the problem with climate change these days. It's affecting every single industry. So yes, I've also seen Lutz article in the chat. So China is apparently building the world's largest hydropower dam in Tibet. I had not yet seen this, Slut, but thank you for sharing.
And if you've been to the Three Gorges, you know that's a giant disaster waiting to happen. So these are very concerning things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because I think Lourdes makes a great point because you don't think about how if you're not in the ocean every day. I guess I wish I was. I was about a week ago, and I remember thinking, we could take better care of these, I think. So
Yeah, well, I live in Dublin and the Irish people they just love the ocean. So every day on my way to work, I see the ocean and I see at least one person swimming. And it doesn't matter what season it is, there's always one person in the ocean. So yeah, we love it. So I do also think we should take better care of it. So yeah. So we can go to the next step, which is creating what if questions. Now, if most of you don't have access to the mural, you can just put them in the chat. So you can be as crazy as possible, but the rule is that the what if questions are based on the insight cards. So you use them, use these cards to come up with what if questions. So it could be, the fish that are losing nutrition. What if all the fish lost their nutrition? Or there's Australian companies that are storing water in big lakes that they actually plan on selling in the future, which I think is one of the most alarming signals of change. So what if there's a war on water is also a very thought-provoking what if question. So just put them in the chat if you think of any. Okay. Well, I'm seeing a few interesting what ifs in the chat already. So Lourdes, I don't know if you're comfortable elaborating on the one that you came up with, but it's actually an innovation that I saw a few years ago as well. Bee and fish, or scientists that managed to find a way for fish and bees to communicate with each other through robots. So it's very, yeah, what if animal communication robots become mainstream and we are finally able to emphasize with them in a radical way? Very, very good what if question, actually. So, Lourdes, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, I heard, I think I read something related with the whales and the patterns in their, they are using AI to find the patterns in their communication and to try to understand what different sounds mean, kind of. So I was really curious about it. I think it will be really interesting. Just that's it, and I think it's closer than we think.
Definitely. Yeah. And it could also be used in a way for us to warn the animals or for them to leave certain areas. Or that's the innovation that I read about was capable of doing. So the robots were used to actually communicate to the birds, like stay away from this area. Or it could be used with birds in that way. Then Scott, your what if question, what if the oceans became uninhabitable and were hazardous to human life? I think that's the case already.
Yeah, might already be there actually. Oh dear.
They're starting to grow vegetables underwater, so it actually might become the opposite. What if
Yeah.
we have to go live in the ocean?
Well, that was the other thought is well, what if it's more likely that land will become uninhabitable quicker, so that we might have to turn to the oceans, whether we can survive or not.
Yeah, exactly. And then the third one, what if we started building cities over the water? That is indeed not a weak sign, it's a need, and China is already doing it. Of course, it's not unexpected. What if the ocean was no longer blue? How would that transform our relationship with the planet and ourselves? So yeah, that's based on the signal that the ocean color is changing. It's not really as blue as it used to be. It's turning green due to climate change. So I think the Irish people would love that. Green sea. What if oceanic life were given rights? That's a good one, because there's a debate going on like should robots have rights? You know, right now they have three laws, but yeah, the rights of nature is something that we should discuss as well. So to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Yeah, oceanic life. Yeah, indeed. What if the blue economy was the foundation of our global financial system? That would be an ideal world. That would be, yeah. What if we taught oceanic history in schools? Is that not happening in where you're based, Scott?
Well, well, that's a deeper story because there's a problem with history in this country, and history apparently began when European colonialists arrived, and so I'm like, oh no, I believe there was things happening before that. So, but yes, no, if there was a more integrated notion of of oceanic history, I suppose. But even like non-human history is an interesting concept as well. So that I think
Hmm.
gets lost
Hmm.
in how we teach sciences and how we teach some of the other subjects. So yeah, there's lots of interesting directions you can take that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but my first initial thought when I saw your comment was like, is this already not a part? Because I'm from Belgium, so I was thinking, is this
Oh
not
yeah, I guess
something
that's
that's already a curriculum in Europe?
true. I'm just
But
worried
I
it's
actually
taught
can't
in the
remember.
wrong way. Because it's taught as a notion of commerce and like the expansion of empire as opposed to, oh, we're all connected. And so there's something cool about this. So I don't know. Maybe I'm incorrect. I hope that they're teaching it in a more um, you know, love the ocean and appreciate our connections versus this is how the Belgium were great, or this is how our
Or
nation was
not.
great, or something like that.
Yeah, no problem. But it's a great what if question anyway. So thank you for that. So I would like to encourage you guys now to turn these what if questions into scenarios. So if your what if question were to actually happen, what could that world look like? So the robots, for example, if those were implemented, who would be using them? Why would they be using them? The the oceanic life or given rights. So is it the entire ocean? Is it the whole planet? Is it only specific parts, specific countries? What kind of rights would they have? So maybe it's too intense for this late, but yeah, I'd say give it a go to try and build scenarios for the next 5 minutes, if that's okay.
Amber, you maybe if you want to post the mural link one more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks.
You're mute, Amber.
I'm so sorry. So sorry. Of course, one awkward thing has to happen. So I'm seeing a few interesting scenarios in the chat already. And the first thing that comes to mind is how they're all so positive. Because I've done this game in a few workshops already, and all the scenarios that people came up with were so, it was all filled with doom thinking. And the yours, this is obviously a group filled with optimists, so thanks for that. So,
I think
yeah,
that
I'm
happens
gonna.
with intergenerational dialogues. We just tend to be more. So well done, teach the future.
I think the fact that we have been the whole day listening to this inspirational session, youth, hope, I think it's helped.
Yeah, definitely. So I think my favorite is actually yours, Scott, if I'm allowed to choose a favorite. But yeah, it says after developing the technology that allow humans to communicate with oceanic life, a new innovative form of representational democracy has emerged, allowing us to host the first Oceanic Congress, where various species and cultures could voice their concerns over the new ways in which we will govern the oceans and build diplomatic relations between the terrestrials and the water peoples. That is a very long sentence. But it's fun when you read it, but then when you say it, it's a very long one. But that's a really cool one, and it's actually disgraceful that we don't have it already, in this era of global heating. But we have a few more minutes left, so if you guys aren't tired of me yet, I would encourage you to create artifacts of the future. So in these scenarios, what kind of artifacts could be useful? So yeah, the goal is there. I think it's a bit of an extra challenge because usually people come up with all the negative and the dystopian futures, and then the artifacts just start flowing. But then in the futures that are also positive, like yeah, you could come up with positive artifacts of the future. So for the final 5 minutes, if that's okay with you guys, I can give you some time to brainstorm. There's also an inspiration board in the mural. So you could select a few artifacts of the future that you like. You could have a look at them, and they're in table 4, the one at the bottom on the right, the artifacts of the future. So you could see if there's anything that you agree with or a few that you like. That's a cool one, Lourdes.
I do like the idea of
Oceanic.
help clothing.
Would you actually wear it? Kelp clothing?
Well, maybe. That's actually been a thing because I'm trying to be a conscious consumer. So I've been thinking about, like they make clothing out of hemp now, and also because I live in a very warm place, you need good clothing that allows the air to move through it, and so you don't suffocate in your own clothing. So kind of
Well, you're
helps.
obviously a guy of fashion. Got the shoes and the kelp clothing.
We are coming to the closing. You have
No
Yeah.
problem, no
more?
problem.
I can play the role of the closer, of someone who closes.
Rosa, but we are not finished yet,
You not?
I think.
And also,
Well,
I don't know if you want to post as well, a link to if there's any other information if folks want to look more into this game or reach out to you, feel free to post anything that.
yeah, I can actually post a link to the game because I recently turned it into a free imagination toolkit. So this should be, oops, sorry. This is here the link to the website where you can download the toolkit. So yeah, I made it last year and I thought this is a resource that I just want to share with the world. So that's what I did. Yes, Lourdes? You're on mute. Okay. Well,
I know. Sorry, I know.